Hello and welcome to today's Solar webinar. Today with Huawei. I'm here with Zhang and Zheng from Huawei. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good
And
afternoon.
before we start, thank you for your patience. We had some technical issues, but we solved them now. And yeah, I'm glad that we made it, and I'm thankful that you're all here today. And before we start, I want to share with you that you can download today's presentation under the tab Materials. So there's two presentations. Please make sure to download them, and we are not going to send it to you afterwards. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to use the Questions tab to state your questions, and we will answer them later in a short Q&A. And now I'm going to give over, and we're going to start with CNI. And I'm going to be in the background, and you will see me later again with the questions. So I'm going to hand over to you for CNI.
Okay, yeah, thanks for the introduction, Katrina. So my name is Xiang. I'm from the Huawei regional CNI solution team, and I'm the solution managers for the region. So today, I'm very honored to represent Huawei to give you some highlight on the slides we have introduced during the Intersolar. So first of all, let's look at our CNI solutions. So we call it one FISOL solution to help our CNI customers with the green transition. And you can see from our solutions, we call it CNI, we call it one FISOL. So that means it can be fit for different industries. And the very key products we have promoting for this year is for the inverters. We have this kind of a 150 KTO inverters. So this is the largest inverters on the market at the 400 volts. And this year, this one will be our key weapons for the PV section. The second one, I think you may already know that from our summit in April. So this is world's first CNI hybrid cooling ESS. And we have three models, 215 kilowatt hours. So it's already in the EU stock. And also we have 107 and 161 kilowatt hours. So it'll be very soon we'll start to supply with these two models as well. And we mentioned this is a hybrid cooling ESS, so it will distinguish our product from others in the market. So now we know the trend from the market is moving from the air cooling to the hybrid cooling. But for Huawei, we are it's from air cooling to the liquid cooling. But for Huawei, we call it the hybrid cooling ESS. So which means we are using air cooling plus hybrid cooling. And also we have our own thermal rotor, which can help us to adjust for the six models. So this is very unique technologies, and we'll be able to distinguish our like CNI ESS from the others products in the market. The last one is about the charger. So we also have the liquid cooled charger. So this is a DC charging infrastructure. So which means we have this kind of a power unit which can connect up to like 12 dispensers. And also we have our Huawei own charging dispensers as well, which has the high power, which will be enable the fast charging for the EV cars. And on the bottom, you can see our key values to the market. So basically, there are three key values. The first one is for the proactive safety, so which means for our solutions, the fundamental of your solution is your need to provide very safety products for your customers. So in the later slides, I will introduce how we achieve this kind of proactive safety for our customers. The second one is for the premium quality, so which means no matter our inverters, ESS, or the chargers, the feedback from the market or from our customers is that for Huawei products, the quality is very good. So after installation and commissioning, our products can last for a long period with very, very low failure rate. So this one is our second key values to our customers is our products with the premier quality with very low failure rate. The last one is about high profitability. So by using our solutions, like no matter the PV 150K, we have the highest efficiencies of the inverters. And also for the ESS, we also have the highest RTE efficiencies in the market. So by using Huawei inverters or the ESS, we can help our customers to generate the high energy yields during the operation. So like in the lifetime, our PV inverters can be like with 20% lower LCOE comparing with the industry average. And for our ESS, it's also 20% lower LCOS comparing with other industry ESS in the market. So that's the three key values. And one fit all. What mean one fit all? It means easy design, easy purchase, easy installation, easy commissioning, and easy maintenance. So it's only one vendor to provide the whole solution, and our solution is easy during the designing stage, during the procurement, during the installation, commissioning, and also during the maintenance. So this is the overall messages we are pass on to the market. That's for the Huawei CNI solutions. So next page, please. The first one we are talking about is 150K. So 150 KTO, we have two models, which is Sun 2000. Another one is the Sun 5000. And the Sun 2000 is pure inverters, which we'll be using as a standalone inverter itself. But for Sun 5000 inverters, it's working with our optimizers. So for Huawei, we have these two-in-one optimizers. So which means these optimizers can be connected with two modules simultaneously. And for our two-in-one optimizers, we have 1100 watt and also we have 1300 watt optimizers. So which means you can connect up to like 650 watt modules. And on the left side, you can see the 6 key values why you are choosing these 150 KTL inverters. The first one, as we mentioned, is a safety. So we will talk about later what's the key safety measurements we have done for this inverter. And for the efficiencies, as we mentioned, these inverters with 98.8% max efficiencies in the market. For the BOS, so in terms of the BOS, we have calculated. Like for example, for 1 megawatt project, by using 150, comparing with other inverters, our inverters can saving around like 5% to 10% BOS comparing with others. So someone like claim like Huawei inverters is a little bit expensive comparing with others, but when you're calculating the overall cost, which means the capex plus BOS, you can see almost your investment will be like even, because for BOS side, our 150 KTO inverters can saving like at least 5% to 10% BOS comparing with others. And for the maintenance, because we have this kind of module level detection technologies, which will help us saving a lot of cost during the maintenance stage. For the reliabilities for our inverters, our annual failure rate is actually 0.5%, 0.5%. But for the industry average, it's about like 1% to 2%. So for Huawei inverters, you can sure after installation and commissioning, this inverter is very solid and with very low failure rate. And also with availabilities, we are 99.39% reliabilities. This is also be proven by TUV, which is also higher than the industry average. For grid friendly, you can see THDI. So this is a parameter which we are comparing if this inverter is more grid friendly. So normally for CNI inverters, the THDI is less than 3%, but for Huawei inverters, our THDI is like less than 1%. Okay, next page, please. And for the safety side, what we want to emphasize is for Huawei inverters, we were designing our safety in a system point of view. So you can see from the module to PV optimizers to inverters to the grid, we will consider about okay. Firstly, we talk about the efficiency. For the efficiencies, it's also like from a system point of view. It's from like modules to optimizers to inverters to the grid. And on the modules, we have this kind of a PID recovery feature. So this kind of a PID recovery features is built-in inverters. So for some of the like high temperature and high humidity environment, that might be like degradation problems during the daytime. But for Huawei inverters, we have this kind of integrate PID recovery features. So which means we will inject the voltage during the night, and we'll recover this kind of PV modules during night. And you can see if the modules was affected during the daytime, this will be recovered during the nighttime. And the TOV give us the report that for this kind of a PID recovery feature, the inverters can have like 3% high energy yields during the lifetime. So that's the PID recovery feature. The second one is about PV optimizers. So as we mentioned, our Sun 5000 inverters can work with these PV optimizers. And the PV optimizers can like help to balance between these PV modules and can eliminate this kind of a short bucket effect during the PV modules, because we know the PV modules are connected in serial. So this kind of PV optimizers will allow the PV modules to work independently. So by working that, the energy yields can be increased by 5% to 30%, depending on how the shadings was affected on the rooftop. So that was the effect by the PV optimizers. And the last one is about from the DC to AC to the conversion. Our inverters, as we mentioned, with highest peak efficiency, and also this kind of highest peak efficiencies will result in like 1.5% high energy yields during the lifetime. So you can see from this kind of PV module side to the optimizer side to the inverter side, to add up, you can add up this effect, which will help you to generate much more energy yields during your lifetime. So next page, please. Yeah, so this one talking about the safety side. So this is also the we have the system view of our system safeties. So for Huawei, like from this kind of module to optimizers, we can do this kind of we call safe link. So which means we can do FCI plus RSD at the same time. So some solutions in the market, they also have the rapid shutdown function, but when they're combining this FCI with RSD together, because of the like RSD, the optimizers will causing like interface to the arc signals. So the result of the arc detection will be very bad when you're adding optimizers to your systems. But for Huawei, because we have very precise this kind of algorithms, so when you're adding this FCI with RSD together, this kind of optimizers doesn't affect any signals on the DC side, and our inverters can still very precisely detect the arc from the DC side, and we can like shut down if you like trigger 5 times of the arc. So you can see for Huawei, our AFCI plus ID solution will work properly when you're using optimizers on the DC side. The second one is about the connector temperature detection features. So no matter if it's a DC connectors or AC connectors, Huawei have this kind of a board design, and on this kind of a PCB board, we have the pad on the back side of this PCB board. And this kind of a pad are the sensors which will at the real time monitoring the temperature of these connectors. And we have set the threshold of this kind of connectors. So if for Huawei inverters, if the connector temperature increased to 95 degrees centigrade, when our sensors detect this kind of a temperature, our inverters will shut down to protect itself. So this is a very unique features, because for CNI inverters, currently don't see many inverters have this kind of connected temperature detection features. And also for the smart string level disconnectors, for the this is actually the DC connectors on the inverters. So for Huawei, we have cooperate with our DC connector vendors, and we have customized this kind of DC connectors. And this kind of DC connectors can like help to prevent some of the like reverse current or short circuit problems on the DC side. And this can help to prevent the inverter damage from the DC side. So we know most of the problems was caused on the DC side, like about 60%, 70% of the inverter safety problems caused on the DC side. But this is SSLD can help to protect our inverters from this kind of a reverse current or reverse high voltage problems on DC side. So this is also Huawei unique, and we have a patent on this kind of SSLD features. And last one is about the PV ground fault protection. So this one, we also first time introduced these features into 150K because we have observed that on the DC side, sometimes there's a short circuit problems, and the result of the short circuit is a very high current, which will causing like fire or explosion of the inverters. So we're talking with some of the partners that they have mentioned some cases they have observed on the field was like for other vendors, because they don't have this kind of a PV short circuit protection. The inverters was actually exploded, and the cover of inverters like explode like 3 meters away, because they don't have this kind of safety features. But for Huawei, we have put this into our 150K, and we have inject this kind of a very high threshold. It's actually 1,600 amps, which will withstand very high current if there's any short circuit problem happens, and to avoid this kind of like fires or explosions on the inverter side. So this is also very unique features we have added for our 150K. So you can see for the safety designing, Huawei also designing in a system point of view, from the module level to the optimizers to the inverters, to make sure the safety of the systems. Next page, please. Okay, and here you can see we want to mention about the high reliabilities. As we mentioned, our inverters was like only a 0.5% failure rate. That was because we have this kind of a very unique designing. So here we want to talk about 3 designing stages. The first one is about the how we do the cooling, comparing with others. The second one is how we do this kind of a smart connected temperature detection for Huawei inverters. The third item is about how we're designing this kind of a smart string level disconnectors with others. And you can see for our inverters, you can see the quality. We have overall we have shipped 130 gigawatts was deployed, and they have run like 15 years for now, and the annual failure rate is 0.5. So this is a very good result. And we can see first one about the smart cooling 2.0. So next page, please. Okay, so here what we want to mention about is for this kind of heat, because we have some of the high temperature environment. So you can see in Rome, like in summer, on the rooftop, the temperature can be up to like 41 degrees centigrade. And also like in Thailand or the Middle East, you can you are also aware that this kind of areas with very high temperatures during the summertime. So how your inverters can effectively do this kind of heat dispensing is very important. So for Huawei, we have firstly, like in our system, we will try to make sure our inverters with less heat production. because we have this kind of a high efficient like 3-level topology, and with our smart power management algorithms, this can help us to with less heat dispensing. The second one is about we have this kind of better heat conductions. So for Huawei, we have this kind of a property-based the component management, and also we have a stacked parallel heat conduction designing to make sure we have a better heat conductions. And eventually we have designed this kind of a fast heat dispensing when there's more heat happens. So we have this kind of do this kind of airflow. So our airflow, you can see is from the middle, and you can see this kind of airflow will be like exhaust from the both sides. So we will do this kind of a scenario-based airflow channel designing to make sure the heat dispensing effect of our Huawei inverters. Okay, so next page, please. Next designing is, as we mentioned, we have this kind of a smart connector temperature detection technologies. So we know a lot of inverter failures from the DC connector side, because like the connector is not properly insert, or there's a like kind of terminal gradually loose during the operation. So this happens every time by time. And this will causing like kind of poor temperature detection, and also will causing like low product reliability and consistency. And for Huawei, you can see we have this kind of a PCB board. This kind of a PCB board, they have a lot of paths on this kind of a PCB board. And this kind of a path will be the sensors to real-time detecting. And once if you over this kind of a threshold of the temperatures, our inverters will be shut down in 0.5 seconds if the over temperature happens. So this is a very good way to protect our inverters by this kind of a temperature detection functionalities. So next page, please. Next one is about smart string disconnections. So we have mentioned like 74% of the inverter failures from the DC side. Because of that, there's some of kind of like PV string reverse connection problem and DC input backflow problem or internal short circuit problem. So because of that, we have designing this kind of we call smart string level disconnection. So it's a SSLD functions. And this is SLD connectors can help us to do the 15 milliseconds rapid shutdown. So if there's a kind of a backflow or kind of a short circuit problems on the DC side. And also we can have this kind of a higher current capacity because we have this kind of arc chart technologies. And we have this kind of a co-component designing with our vendors for the very specific capacities and fans of our systems. So next page, please. And for our ESS, this is our like star products for this year. We have this kind of 215 series ESS. And also there are 6 key values why we are choosing this kind of a 215 ESS. The first one is about efficiencies. So for the RTE efficiencies, because we have this kind of unique hybrid cooling technologies, which will help us to achieve this kind of highest efficiencies in the industry. So it's a 91.3% RTE efficiency. And also for the safety, so we call it C2C dual link safety architecture. So which means we have this kind of electrical safety designing and also thermal electrical designing. So that's why we call it a dual link safety architecture. So we will discuss about this later. For utilization, for Huawei inverters, because we have the battery pack optimizers, so similar to PV optimizers. So this kind of battery pack optimizers can help us to achieve like 100% DOD. So this is also very unique features, can help us to generate high-end GUs during the lifetime. And also the cycle performance because we have the unique heat dispensing methodologies. So the SOH of Huawei inverters, which means like after 10 years, we can guarantee like our SOH is about like 60%, 60% SOH of the ESS systems. But industry average after 10 years, maybe they can only do like 58%. So Huawei is always like 2% higher SOH compared with others because we have this kind of a better cycle performance. And for the maintenance, we have this kind of AI optimization feature. So we have AI assistant. This kind of AI assistant, we have some of the proven case studies, like they have like 10% or even like 30 or 40% higher energy yields because we have this kind of AI features. The last one is one fit all. So for this kind of generation, so everything is prefabricated. So which means we will ship this in a whole cabinet, and also you will install this in a whole cabinet. So on site, you only need to do the cabling and commissioning. So it's very easy. It's only like 2 years. It's only about 2 hours, 2 hours installation, and that's it. So this is a big improvement comparing with our last generation air cooling ESS. So next slide, please. For the so why we are call it the hybrid cooling ESS, because we have this kind of innovative this kind of architecture. Because we have hybrid cooling, and also because we have this dual loop heat dispensing, and also pack level optimizer 2.0. So all these kind of features help us to achieve and to improve our revenues. Like our IT efficiency, you can see we are 91.3%, and the industry average is about like 90%. And also for the cell temperature differences, as we mentioned, we have this kind of dual loop heat dispensing. So the temperatures between this battery cells inside of the battery pack is low. So the cell temperature differences for Huawei ESS is only 2.2 degrees centigrade. But for others, industry average is about 3 degrees centigrade. So as we mentioned, the SOH for Huawei ESS is about like 2% higher during the 10 years lifetime. And also because we have this kind of 100% DOD, because we have this pack level optimization technologies. Industry average, normally they will reserve some of the capacity of their ESS, about like 95% DOD. So which means the usable capacity for Huawei ESS during lifetime is about 2% higher than the other inverters, the other ESS. And we have one example. So this is a real case, happens in Germany. So this is the ASH site. So this is our sample site, which is close to Frankfurt. And for this site, they have using three 215 ESS. And we have invited the VDE to on-site to monitor the real operation performance of our ESS. And the recorded result from the VDE is that our RT efficiencies can reach about 92%. So you can see this is even higher than what we claim. So Huawei claim is 91.3%, and what VDE was recorded is 92%. So this is a very good result. And in return, in 10 years, this kind of high efficiencies means there's a 5,400 euros increase in the revenue. And the payback period is also very low. It's only like within 5 years payback period, because we have high energy yields. And also for this site, they have to do the peak shaving as well. So it's kind of a multi-business models for this site, and the payback period is very good for this kind of a business owners. So next page, please. And also for the safety side, we call it the C2C dual link. So we have this kind of electrical link and also thermal link designings. And for the electrical link, you can see from the cell to the application level. So for the cell, we have this kind of real-time monitoring on the battery cell of working conditions. And for the battery pack, you can see we have this kind of designing for the six-sided strong insulation. So just in case there's some like signal run away for the battery cells, our battery pack, because they have a six-sided strong insulation protection, so it means that this doesn't doesn't affect the other battery packs inside of your ESS cabinet. So which can make sure this kind of problem can be like isolated within this battery pack. And also we have a 5-level protections for the systems, so I don't mention one by one. And also we have this kind of 24 hours assurance, which do this kind of RCD against the electrical shock. So that's on the electrical side, the designing of Huawei ESS. And also on the thermal link, we have this kind of a heat insulation and separation technologies. And also we have this kind of a positive pressure oxygen blocking. So which means that there's some like battery cell thermal runaway. We can like release this pressure from the battery pack, So and also we have this kind of directional gas exhaust. So which means this kind of pressure will be released from battery pack and eventually will be exhaust from this kind of a battery cabinet. And doing this way, it will make sure the battery pack will not be like have the explosion, and also there's no explosion inside of the cabinet. And one last designing is a top explosion venting. So this features is just in case there's all this kind of features was fair and there's a fire happens inside of the cabinet. Our system will like have the top explosion venting, which means the pressure will be like released from the top instead of release the pressure from the front. Because when there's a fire happens, there's some like personnel to check on this ESS or firefighters checking on this ESS. So when you like release pressure from the top, there's no any potential risk to like causing injuries for the personals. But from the top, there's no personal like injuries. But if you release pressure from the front, that might be causing injuries to the personals when checking on this ESS. So this is also a very unique designing from Huawei ESS. So you can see from the electrical side and also thermal side, Huawei have done a lot of designings, and from the cell level to the system level to make sure the safety of our ESS systems. So next page, please. And for the reliability, you can see for our ESS during the production, our systems will do like for our semiconductors, we'll do a 100% aging on this kind of semiconductors, and also for the IGBT of the ESS, and for the liquid cooled systems, we are using vertical grade, but others only using like industry grade. So which means our like liquid cooling materials, we don't need to exchange within 10 years lifetime. But for others, like every 5 years, they need to exchange this kind of liquid within their cabinet. So this is also a differences. And we have also done this kind of extreme condition simulation, so which means the extremely high and low temperatures and also very humidity environment. Our system can also resist and also survival in this kind of environment. So this is also very important. And for the verifications, you can see we will do this kind of a hot test and a wet and dust test, and also high THS cycle test. But for industry average, normally they don't do this kind of a test. And also mass production inspections, like for long-term ORT, we will do 2,000 hours ORT on our system, and also we do 100% aging test on our system, and also we will do this kind of helium test on the tightness test, but others only do the water test. And also we have this kind of automatic production line comparing like a manual production line. So this makes differences for Huawei ESS comparing with like industry average other ESS systems. So next page, please. And also for the AI side, as we mentioned, we have this kind of unique system, which we call a Fusionsolar management system. So this kind of Fusionsolar management system can do this kind of a PV, ESS charging and loads management. So everything can be managed within one system. And also within these systems, you can check the different status of your systems. So in the ESS, you can check the cell level, pack level, rack level, and system level of your ESS running. So this is a real-time monitoring of the ESS. The second one we are talking about Smart Emo. So Smart Emo is kind of like AI assistant, and this one will help you to do this kind of uh, like AI scheduling. So normally you will do this kind of manual scheduling, like you will set during what time you do the discharge and what time you do the charging and what time you do the peak shaving. But with this kind of smart emo, you can do this kind of automatic scheduling of your systems. And one example is like we have a hotel in Spain, and by using this kind of smart emo technologies, so this is a pure AI software, so you don't need to invest in hardware. And the result is about we have a 37% high energy use by just using this kind of a smart emo AI features. So this is very important features of our systems. And the last one about open platform. So you can see currently our systems, our ESS, was integrated with four power markets, like it's Nord Pool, Expert Spot, ESIOS, and TGE. And this kind of four platforms will covering 17 countries, 17 countries for now. So which means we can know the dynamic tariffs for this kind of 17 countries. And this will enable us to do this kind of energy arbitrage in this kind of countries. So we will integrate this information into our system, and our Smart Emo AI assistant will like automatically to let our ESS to do the charging when the electricity price is low, and when the electricity price is high, and do the discharging during the daytime, during the peak hours. So this is very important, and we're also integrating with more platforms and try to be covering more countries in the second half of this year. Next page, please. Yeah, so this is example that I just mentioned. So this my emails help these kind of hotel to generate the high energy use. So it's starting from like only April. It's already running for 2 months, and you can see in overall this kind of smart emo features helping to achieve like 47% high energy use comparing with before when do not have this kind of AI features. So next page, please. And for the high quality, you can see we have this kind of unique design. And for our PCS is 3-phase, 4 wires, 5 bridge, which means we don't need the transformers, and we don't need IMD device. So for our air cooling ESS, we need the transformers and also IMD devices. And also with this kind of new smart microgrid controller 5000. So this one will be available in Q4 of this year. And when this is ready, we don't even require the third-party EMS or no relay or no meter. So everything will be rely on this kind of a new smart logger. And you can see with our new hybrid cooling ESS with new smart logger MGC 5000, we can eliminate a lot of devices when you do this kind of a backup or this kind of multi business models. And also our like power supply can be achieved like 20 milliseconds compared with now like about 3 seconds backup. But eventually we can achieve this kind of a 20 milliseconds. And also we have a strong load support. We can support maximally 1.3 times, 1.3 times loads. And we can support 100% unbalanced loads, which means support single phase loads. And the power quality is the THDI, as we mentioned, is less than 1.5%, and the THDU is about less than 2%. Next page, please. I think that's probably the last one. Oh, okay. The last one is about liquid cooled ultra fast chargers. So this one will also be available for a lot of countries in Europe. So we have this kind of a power unit, and also we have the dispensers. And for this one, if customers want to integrate Huawei system and want to have a one solution, you can also implement this kind of a power unit with Huawei dispensers as well, to make sure it's like one PV plus ESS plus the charging solutions for your applications. Yeah, next one, please. Okay, so that's everything for the CNI section. Do you have any questions?
So I received no questions so
Okay,
far. So I think for now we can continue with residential.
okay, no problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
could you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, if you can see, you can tell me and I start.
Now I see your screen. So
Okay,
can start.
okay. I'm Zhihen and I'm responsible for Huawei's residential solution. And today I will introduce you what we have launched and what we have shown during the Intersolar. And this picture is the structure of our residential booth. You can see that we have 7 parts. And here we have introduced our latest solution and show our product portfolio in here and show some of our new features or some key features here. And here we also show what we can support for the installers. Okay, and I will introduce the parts one by one. Okay, firstly, this is the solution diagram of our product, and you can see we see that Huawei is a one-fits-all provider, and we can provide almost all the devices you need, and except the PV modules. You can see that we have our own in PV optimizer, and we have the inverter, our battery, and that is our new backup box. And with this smart guard, you can still have the power supply during the power outage. And we can also provide this is our AC EV chargers, and you can choose single phase or three phase EV chargers. And the model here is the Sun 2000 Map Zero. That is our new inverters and which is released in this year. And that is our asymmetric inverters, which means that it can support the real three-phase backup. Now, during the power outage, if you have a 12 kilowatt map zero, you can have 12 kilowatt backup power. And it is a symmetric inverter, so in some countries, when the DSO have some power feed-in limitation, you can have more powers. For example, in Czech Republic, like that. But in Germany, it is important that you have map zero if you want to have a real three-phase backup. And during the backup mode, we know that when you turn on some large devices, large load, there will be a very large surge current. And if the inverter cannot stand the overload current, the system will shut down and the backup power will disappear. So our new map zero inverters can have a 200% overload capacity. So even in the backup mode, and you still can turn on and turn off the large loads, and nothing wrong will happen. And for the smart guard, you can see that the current is 63 amp. So that means it is higher than normal. It is enough for, I think, almost all the houses. So when you install it, you can directly install it in front of the distribution box, because the current is large enough. So that means you don't need to divide the loads to backup loads and non-backup loads. So it is much easier when you install this system. And in the smart guard, we have a device which is called EMA. And this EMA is like an intelligent brain for the system. And all the devices, including the inverter and the battery and the charger, will be connected to the EMA. And when your phone is connected to the EMA, and you can see all the information of the devices. So when you install a system and you want to do the commissioning, you don't need to connect the devices one by one. You just need to connect the EMA, and then you can do everything for the plant. So it is very convenient for you. And besides, we also support the third-party devices. You can connect, so for example, some third-party EV chargers or third-party heat pumps to the EMA, and the EMA can also control them. And for the northbound ecosystem, the EMA can support the dynamic tariff in some countries, for example, the Nord Pool and Apex. And when it can get the dynamic tariff one day ahead, and it can optimize the scheduling of the battery and improve the energy yield for the homeowners. Okay. Okay. Here I show our product portfolio, and I will introduce it one by one. For example, here for the optimizer, in this year we have in this year we still sell the Sun 2000 optimizer, and in the future we also have a new optimizer which is called Merc, and but the new optimizer will have some new features. For example, improve the input current, and will have the terminal thermal detection function. So it is more safety and more powerful. And with the optimizer, with both optimizer, you can improve the energy yield on your rooftop, and besides, and just the same as the CNI solution, it has a RSD function, so it will also make the rooftop safer. And here for the inverter, we have now 2 single-phase inverter and 2 three-phase inverter. For the three-phase inverter, we have MAP0 and MB0. The power range of the MAP0 is from 5 to 12 kilowatt, and for MB0, the power range is from 12 to 25 kilowatt. And besides that, because the space is limited, so actually we still have the M1 inverter, and the power range is from 3 to 10 kilowatt. And for the single phase, we have LB0 and LC0 inverters, and for LB0, the power is from 3 to 6, and for the LC0, the power is from 8 to 10. And both of these inverters are battery ready, so you can connect our Luna battery to the inverters, and both of them have a very high quality and also provide the AFCI function, just like the CNI inverter. And here we have 2 series of the batteries. The S0 is our old one, and each pack is 5 kilowatt hour. And last year we have released the new Luna S0 battery, and for each pack the capacity is 7 kilowatt hour. And for each battery pack, because you can see that on the top of the battery it is a power module, and under the power module we can have up to 3 battery pack, and in each battery pack we have integrated energy optimizer, and with the energy optimizer, the charging and discharging of each battery pack are managed independently, so it can improve the usable energy of the system. And for the Luna S0, we have a warranty of 10 years. But for the Luna S1, we improved our we have a longer warranty. If you connect the Luna S1 to our Fusionsolar PVMS management system, you can get a 15 years warranty. So it is much longer than other brand because we can provide 15 years warranty because we know that the Luna S1 have a very high quality. And I will introduce some features of the Luna S1 by the next part. And it is our smart chargers. We have a single-phase smart charger with 7 kilowatt power, and we have a three-phase smart charger with 22 kilowatt power. But some homeowner will have their own smart chargers before they install the PV system. So we also have a solution because now we have EMA, and the EMA can connect to some third-party EV chargers. And I will show that also in the next part. And that is the smart guard. And you can see that we have two pictures here because one is for single phase and the other one is for three phase. And both of them have integrated an EMA. So if you buy the smart guard, you don't need to buy the EMA individually. And the current for both two smart guard is 63 amp. So it is very large. And that means when you install this smart guard, you don't need to divide the backup load and the non-backup load. And the MR I have introduced in the last part, but I will introduce you some features also in the following part. Okay. And here in this part, we have some demos to show the features of our Luna S1 battery. I can show it one by one. Firstly, our Luna S1 battery have a IP level of IP66, so it has a very great waterproof capability. And you can see that we put this Luna S1 in a 40 centimeter water, and it can still work. And we have do the test in our laboratory, and find that the ESS can be immersed in the 40 centimeter deep water for 72 hours. So it is very great. So if you have our Luna S1 and you install it in outdoors, you don't need to worry if there is a rain, there are some waters, because the IP protection level is very high. Besides that, the strength of the Luna S1 is also very great. Here you can see that our Luna S1 battery can withstand the expected 5-ton pressure load. So you can, when you install it in your carriage, it is also very safe. And here there is a video that shows the quality of our product. Okay, the quality is really very good. Okay, that is a demo that shows that is some components inside the battery pack. And because I think we don't have a very long time, so I can introduce it fastly. You can see that the product have a very high quality. It's also because that we do many tests in our factories. For example, we have more than 120 test items, and we have more than 5 unique test items, which only done by Huawei. And you can see that in every battery pack, we have only 8 cells because we are using a 280 Ah battery cells. Other brands normally use battery cells with 50 or 80 Ah, so they need more battery cells in one pack. We know that if you have more packs, if you have more components, you will have a higher failure rate. So that is why the quality of Huawei's product are very high, and that is why we can provide a 15 years warranty for the Luna S1. And that shows that the operation temperature range of the Luna S1 and the Luna S0 is very wide. It can work, it is the operating temperature range. It is from minus 20 degrees to positive 55 degrees. So in any seasons, you can use our batteries with no worries. And besides that, in our battery pack, we provide also emergency fire separation modules. That means when there is something wrong inside the battery cells, or for example, when there is a thermal runaway, we have the fire extinguishing pack, and it will automatically put the fire out. And that is about our temperature management, because you can see that the operating temperature range of the battery is very wide. It is because in each battery pack we have a heating film. So even in the winter, it will firstly start the heating film and make sure that the temperature is in a good temperature, and the battery pack can have a good efficiency. So even in the winter, the battery can work good. And besides the extinguishing pack, we also have active pressure release technology in each battery pack. So, for example, when it detects the temperature in the battery pack is too high, for example, there is a thermal runaway in the battery pack, it will release the oxygen in the battery pack and make sure that there is no fire. So no fire will happen even there is a thermal runaway. And here is a demo. It shows that our product can work in a very extreme environment, in the low temperature or in a sandstorm. Okay, in this part, I want to introduce this home management solution. it is mainly about EMA. And I have introduced that our EMA can not only communicate with Huawei's product, it can also manage some third-party household appliances. You can see that in this part. Now in our ecosystem, we can support these arrows. That is heaters, and that is some intelligent switches from Shelly. And I think this heater is from Ascoma, and that is also very popular in Germany. And we can support 3 brands of the EV chargers. I'm not sure which I'm not sure which brand is that, but we have already supported 3 models of the third-party EV chargers, and we also support the heat pump from the Violent. And so if you are using this type of devices, and you can have a very great experience with our EMA solution. Okay, and here I want to show you a demo. Could you see it?
I see something loading. A screen's loading. Yes, now I see it.
Okay. Because for the EMA, we have an AI function to optimize the energy scheduling of the system. So with this solution, you can have a higher revenue. That is our 3 case. That, for example, in some countries, people are using the dynamic tariff, and the EMA, the AI scheduling, will improve the energy, will improve the yield, the revenue. And in some countries, sometimes the electricity price is negative, and with EMA, so for example, when the price is negative, the EMA will automatically charging the battery, so you can get the electricity and with a negative price. That is great. And in 1 year, you can see, in 8 months, this homeowner have saving about 330 euros. And in some countries, if you have a very high power load, and because our EMA system can have a forecast of the energy of the load, so it can optimize the charge and discharging schedule, and also improve the revenue. And you can see, and in this case, in 1 year, you can also save about 200 euros. And it is our demo. It is our Fusionsolar app. You can see that. Sorry, let me check. Here, that is a real case in Sweden. And this case is from one of our installer, and he has installed our EMA system in his own house. And that is a real screenshot from his Fusionsolar app. You can see that. With this AI energy management assistance, they have using it for 267 days, and you can see he has a revenue about 0.7 euro. That is the additional revenue with the EMA, and totally he has saved about 160 euro. It is for about 260 days. And here you can also see in the Fusionsolar app, you can also see the difference between the revenue with EMA and without EMA. You can see that for example, in January and February, because it is in winter and there is not so many solar. So if you don't have the EMA, the revenue is very low. But if you have the EMA, you can still have a very good revenue. Here is the principle why it can improve the revenue. In Sweden, for Johan, he is using a dynamic tariff. So you can see that this orange curve is is for the price. And if you don't have EMA and using the self-consumption mode, for example, in this the electricity price is very low, but in this time the charging power of the battery is also not very high, because in this time in the winter there is not so many solar, not so many sunshine, so it's just charging with the surplus power. The power is very low. But if with EMA, it can detect that yes, this time the electricity price is lowest in the day, so it will automatically charging the EMA, charging the battery to 100% SOC. So in the next time, when the electricity price is high, it will use the energy from the battery instead of purchasing the energy from the power grid. So by this logic, you can save more money by the PV and ESS system. And for this demo, we can also see that how we can manage the third-party devices. And you can see that in this page, you can add some third-party devices here. For example, here we have the heat pump, we have Huawei charger, third-party charger, and you can control the light by the intelligent switch. And you can also have the heaters here. And click that. You can see, you click this heat pump, and enter this page. You can do many operations in this page. For example, adjust the temperature of the heat pump, and you can change the heating mode here. And you can also use some function, for example, the PV preferred mode, and let the heat pump only use the PV surplus power. And it is very great. Okay. And this part is about the EMA. And we can go back to the slide. And okay, and besides after the product, and I also want to introduce what we can do for the installers. Here you can see that firstly, for an installer, it is very important that to have a sourcing stable supplier. So Huawei now is a top PV inverter and ESS manufacturers here. Okay, I think here, because we don't have so many times, so maybe I just introduce two demos here. Here, here is about the PV community. That now we have a PV community, and every installer can join the PV community, and you will get some benefits here. For example, here. In this year, we will release that the dedicated policy for installers, and you can become the member of our PV community. And when you install our product, you can get the Radium point, and you can use the Radium point to get some support from Huawei. For example, some free devices, or you can also use the point to have some gift from Huawei. And now we have now it is a website, and in the next month we will also release we will also launch a app which is called Power Partner, and you can use the app to join the PV community. That is the new app, and it will be available about in June in this year. And with this app, you can find many product documents, and you can find some activities, for example, some promotion programs of Huawei, and you can also collect the redeem point in this app and to have some gift. Okay, I think that is all about this part about our solutions, and in the end, I also want to show a video about which is made in our factories to show the quality of our product.
How many tests must an energy storage system pass to prove its safety and reliability? At Huawei Fusionsolar, reliability begins at the source with uncompromising quality control for every single cell. Our cutting-edge purification technology delivers deep, thorough cleaning, leaving zero room for error. Advanced visual detection captures even micron-level defects, ensuring impeccable cleanliness. Automated stacking achieves unparalleled accuracy down to fractions of a millimeter. Every component is assembled with intelligent precision, meticulously controlled for seamless integration. Our 7-layer golden welding process, perfected through relentless innovation, delivers flawless welds every single time. From micro measurements to macro performance, we redefine excellence at every stage. Every energy storage unit must undergo diligent testing. Only the best passes our scrutiny. Only the best reaches your hands. At Huawei Fusionsolar, safety and reliability are uncompromising, with traceable cells and rigorous quality control across the board. We empower the world with unwavering confidence.
Okay, you can see that that is how we can get a so high quality of our product. And besides the battery of our product, including the optimizer and the inverter, all of them have a very low failure rate. So because the quality is very important for you. If you have installed some product with a low quality, okay, in the next some years you will need to cost so many times for the maintenance. So the quality is very important, and we always focus on a high quality product. Okay, thanks. That is all for the residential part. Thanks. Do you have any questions?
So, hi, here I am again. Thank you for your time and for the presentation, and also thank you for the attendees again for your patience. And yeah, we received no questions so far, which is already good because this means you answered everything fully throughout your presentation. If you happen to have any questions, please feel free to contact your Krannich representative or the support from Huawei. And also, please make sure to download the PDF file. It's under the tab Materials. So I want to thank the representatives from Huawei again for attending and for your time. And yeah, so we are closing this webinar now. I'm wishing you all a nice day, and I hope we see each other in the next webinar. Have a good time. Bye-bye.